Hi there, this is Carl Freund, Cambrian-AI Research. I have some folks from IBM joining us today to talk about Quantum Safe. We've talked a little bit about Quantum Safe last year. IBM's made and the community's made significant progress in the middleware for quantum, but let's talk specifically about Quantum Safe. With me today, I've got Jay Arun and Ray Harishankar from IBM Research, and they're going to help us understand what this quantum safe stuff's all about. And why don't we start with you, Ray? Where are we with quantum safe? I mean, a lot was accomplished with the U.S. government and NIST and so forth. Can you kind of give us an overview, a lay of the land, and where we stand?
Happy to, Carl. First, thank you for the opportunity to have this conversation with you. And for those who are not familiar with the topic, let me take 30 seconds to give some introduction. Cryptography that we use in our current modern day digital world, particularly the asymmetric cryptography, is at risk of being broken by quantum computers with sufficient capacity and scale. That is the problem that we're trying to solve. And so NIST solicited algorithms that cannot be broken by classical computers as well as by quantum computers. And in July of 22, they announced 4 finalists around which they're going to build standards. So there is a problem statement that I made, and there is also a solution that we have, right? Now, of these 4 algorithms, 3 came from IBM working in collaboration with partners in the industry and in the academia. NIST is working hard, and these standards are expected to be published in 2024. So that's the backdrop and the landscape. Now, since this announcement in July, there have been national security memorandums issued by the government of the United States, CNSA guidelines that have called out specific timelines from firmware signing to operating system to network equipment readiness, etc. So my point here is that the point around quantum safe and the quantum safe timeline is getting more and more specific, and guidelines are being developed, not just by North American or US-based organizations, but these are being now coming out of other countries as well. So Australia, European Commission, France, Germany, New Zealand, all of them are coming up with standards, but almost all of them are based on NIST standards, or they're watching NIST to see how they're progressing. So where I see this evolving is more and more specific guidelines are coming from governments, and industries will begin to follow them. And in a few years, we will see that standards published by NIST and specific guidelines based on that are going to be adopted and used, and clients will be well on their way to transforming their enterprise and migrating towards what we call post-quantum cryptography or quantum safe, and be well on their way on this journey. That's how I see this having evolved and continuing to evolve in the coming months and years, Carl.
Okay, interesting. So where are customers on their journey to quantum safe? I mean, people are increasingly aware of the need to take action now. Because not that there's a quantum computer available that can crack their codes, but bad actors who steal the data now and store it away someplace, and then once the quantum computers are strong enough, capable enough, they can crack it later. So, where are your customers on this journey to quantum safe?
So Carl, you brought up a great point about this harvest now and decrypt later, which is a unique challenge that faces enterprises. So bad actors and motivated bad actors, I should say, can download information today and sit on it for a long period of time and see what value they have in what they have harvested when a quantum computer capable of breaking that encryption becomes available, right? That is a challenge. Now, what we have seen in the past several months, say since the beginning of the year, is an increased awareness from clients and engagement from them. Compared to what we saw last year. Clients are becoming increasingly aware of what quantum safe is, what its impact is on their business, and are beginning to educate themselves quite a bit. So much so, we have seen an increase in our engagement with clients across multiple industries. We are engaged with clients across financial services, telco, healthcare, retail, and most of these engagements have been on what we call the discovery process, where one of the first steps is to identify and establish what the current cryptography footprint within the enterprises, so much so establish a baseline, if you will, of what they currently have, and also based on that, prioritize what their remediation actions should be. So developing a plan to begin executing the moment standards get published is what clients are after and what we have been recommending to them as well. But one change that we have seen with clients' engagement is that more and more clients are coming to us saying, I get that, but can I also begin transforming some early applications? Can I begin to try out what transformation looks like so I can become smarter at doing that? So early remediation through selected examples or selected, I shouldn't say examples, but sample areas where they want to transform applications, that is actually beginning to pick up, and we're seeing a lot. One more thing I'll take this opportunity to point out is what we are trying to drive is also, we can do this one client at a time, but we want to move entire industries or ecosystems forward. So as you know, we have established a post-quantum telco network task force with GSMA, Vodafone, and IBM working together. That has come a long way. That has made significant progress and moved the entire telco industry across. We are looking to do that across other industries as well. So individual customers, we are working with them to make progress and educate them and help them move forward with their agenda. We are also working on how we can move the entire industry forward through this consortium place. That's how we are approaching this whole space, Carl.
Interesting, interesting. So Jay, how are you helping clients on this journey? Is there technologies you can offer them to prepare for quantum safe?
Absolutely. I think this is the right point in time, I would say, Carl, that how Ray mentioned that where customers are in their journey to quantum safe. I think what we are bringing and unveiling is by learning through them, but at the same time, I think being proud of what Ray mentioned earlier, that 3 algorithms out of the 4 that NIST has finalized are IBM ones. But how do we take those and help really customers with our knowledge and expertise to bring the technology that will help them basically do 3 things. Obviously, every customer, if I wear my certified CISO hat and think like that, what is the primary challenge they have to come and understand? First thing is they have to understand their cryptography landscape and what we mean by discover the cryptography landscape that they have. And then also understanding that this cryptography, how and where their crown jewels are, correlating, contextualizing that information in context of the compliance policies, vulnerabilities, and helping really in the sense of prioritizing where they put their remediation efforts, right? Ray talked about some of the remediation pattern part, but that's basically is the second part. And then last thing they come to, I think, in their journey, as we look at the remediation part, which is basically how can they help transform their cryptography and get to modernize their cryptography or look at the patterns that, because not everybody has the same complexity, same kind of environment that customers might foresee. The primary area for them to look for what patterns fit them. Some of them might say, I do have a legacy application. I can't really see where those be fixed and replaced. I don't even have the people who have written those applications in the past. They got retired or moved on. And I don't want to make any changes. My business is running fine. How to really help them without even touching and updating the application. So there are patterns like that. So we do have as part of, I think, looking at all of the clients' journey stages and looking at all the patterns, we are proud to say that our team has been working feverishly to bring this technology out. And so those IBM Quantum Safe technologies actually includes 3 core capabilities. I would say first is what we call Explorer, that helps exactly helping customers discover their cryptography by scanning the source code, object code, and also analyzing the dependencies that they might see across their applications and other environment. And then ultimately generating a cryptography bill of material, a common standard or schema of where you would like to keep the cryptography inventory so that everyone can have the same information and all the tools and capabilities can access the same format and information in general. So, and Quantum Safe Explorer also does help our customers really in the areas of identifying, but also identifying and calling out specific vulnerabilities that we see in the application scanning in source code and object code, and so based on the knowledge that we have. And then the advisor is the second capability, what we call here primarily helping our customers to observe their cryptography, analyzing their compliance posture, vulnerabilities across the cryptography assets, and then ultimately prioritizing the remediation efforts, but more importantly, based on the risks that have been identified in assessment stage throughout the contextual and correlation of those assets. And then the last thing I would say, the remediator, which is, I think, a capability that we all heard that there are multiple patterns, but how do we help customers transform their cryptography, basically providing them an environment where they could see a crypto agility, which actually helps them best fit one of their remediation patterns, while also focusing on the aspects that they don't have to necessarily invest in development and operations and not having that burden, but also driving towards that implementation and deployment of crypto agility that Ray touched on earlier. So I think those are the three areas I would say, Carl, that how we are helping customers discover their cryptography, observe and prioritize their cryptography for quantum safe efforts, and then ultimately remediating and transforming that cryptography. So those are three areas. Yeah.
Interesting. So quantum is becoming kind of the next big thing, I think, and there's a lot of companies jumping in to help their customers, potential customers, not only deploy quantum, but deploy quantum safe infrastructure. What is it that differentiates IBM in that mix?
Very good question, Carl. I think being in the product management role, I look at, first, obviously, I think customers are the important entities for us, that how we help them, but also I think looking at market and competition in general. I'm proud to say that how IBM has been pioneering cryptography innovation since last 82 years. And I know things that many of us may or may not even know, that IBM, the cryptography research group in IBM started in 1960 in our T.J. Watson Research Center. And I think what they have developed the industry's first cryptography algorithm. So what I'm saying, that was the time when 1968 or so, NBS, the predecessor to NIST, what we call National Bureau of Standards, was the first ever data encryption standard for computer security was adopted, and that was written by IBM. And earlier name that IBM given to that algorithm called Lucifer, and then and Lloyd Bank was our first client, and then it was adopted through the same process like we are going through NIST now by NBS then. And I think having that, you can say the legacy, what I would say that we are proud to have that subject matter expertise in this area. So I think that's first thing. So expertise is one that we are proud of, that we bring the knowledge, history, legacy, and we understand the modernized areas as of now. So that's one of the important elements from IBM perspective we bring to table. But that knowledge and expertise also helped us creating the technology, right? So obviously we are having these 3 of the 4 finalist algorithms as part of IBM developed and contributed. But on the other hand, the technology we just talked about a few minutes back, that how do we help customers throughout their journey, not at one stage, but throughout their journey to the quantum safe, and also post quantum safe as well. So I think those are basically the areas and technologies we have developed within IBM and capabilities. And again, I think not to disregard what's happening in the industry and marketplace, but obviously we understand our client's environment, the enterprise client environments, which are more complex than you could imagine. So we look at those perspectives and bring the technology to help customers in that regard. So I think proud to say that one of our capabilities that in the Explorer we talked about is having, I would say, a powerhouse engine underneath that was developed especially for supporting 140 programming languages, source code, and object code scanning. And that enables us absolutely in terms of understanding and helping clients' first pain point, which is discovering their cryptography. And I think that's the kind of maturity level that we can bring to our clients and help them. And same thing goes to the other parts of our capabilities as well. So analyzing the data from multiple different sets, right? You talk about the network side, you talk about the application side, or in general, rest of the other IT environment. How do you consolidate? How do you contextualize that using the AI ML capabilities to understand and bring that visibility, insights, and control to our clients in the cryptography posture perspective. And then last thing, what Trey also mentioned earlier is that we do understand several remediation patterns. So few of our other friends out in the market might have very specifically few patterns that they have identified, but over the last, as I mentioned, 82 years of our history and legacy, the subject matter expertise and knowledge have understood several patterns that fit clients' environment, no matter how you are helping clients, just providing a secure VPN connection or secure web server applications, or a client server architecture, or the TLS connections or current connections. So we have several of those remediation patterns that we have identified. And we are basically helping customers as a trusted advisor to help really find a best fit for them, because this is a journey they are taking now. But also, last but not the least, is the crypto agility part, where we understand these patterns and how we can help our customers really get to that stage where they don't really need to rip and replace every time or hard code the encryption and key management capabilities into their application, rather using as a crypto as a service and being more agile, foreseeing any changes in future related to cryptography. So I'll leave it to that, but that's basically, we are proud of our innovations, our expertise, and our technology in this marketplace.
Well, IBM's always been at the nexus of enterprise security and resiliency. And with the advent of quantum computing, no one's really better positioned to help clients secure their infrastructure and secure their data. So sounds fascinating. I always love talking with you guys. It kind of blows me away what we're doing with quantum. I look forward to hearing what you guys have next, and we'll schedule a call to talk about it when that happens.
Of course, always happy to talk to you and share these perspectives, Carl.
Thank you very much. Great. My privilege to have you on. Thank you, guys. We'll